All right. So we're just going to scratch and massage the outer layer of the skin. Look how much mobility we have. That is feeling better. 3, 2, 1. And slightly returning to baseline. Please forgive me. I am so sorry. I got just a bit lost up on the mountainside, but I have seemingly stumbled across your village up here in the midst of this deep and dark spruce forest. So it's quite a quaint and cozy vibe here once you make your way through the branches. And so you do have your wolf out and prepared. So I will go ahead and just keep a slight bit of distance just until I am aware of the temperament and the nature of your wolf, if that's all right. But I do have a few methods with me that is going to help me endear myself to your wolf rather quickly, so don't let that concern you with my effectiveness of the chiropractic adjustment. Perfect. Well, I will go ahead and just get a few bits of data about your wolf, if that's all right, since your wolf is already out and on this table-like structure here. This will actually work perfect. We won't have to move it to any other location or anything like that. So excellently done, and it looks like it's in good health. But let me, like I said, make a few quick notes and just brush up on the details of your scheduled appointment. All right, so your name, please, once again. And how do you spell that? All right. Thank you. Okay, and thank you. Address is always important to ensure that I am in the right location. That has happened from time to time, but something that I don't like to remind myself of or dare repeat. Okay, and you are, looks like this is a first-time appointment for your wolf here. So first-time appointment. So that just means we are going to do a few brief exams and just visual inspections to kind of establish care and a routine health environment for your wolf and our clinic. Okay. And what was the reason for the appointment that you made for chiropractic care for your wolf? What types of injuries or pain or discomfort is it experiencing, and when and how often? Okay, head and neck area, very common. So head and neck. All right, what actions or positions make it more painful? All right, while it's lying down. So lying down exasperates the issue. Excellent. Not excellent for your wolf, but excellent details that will help the treatment. Anything else? All right, during sprinting, okay, through the forest. And that's quite a necessity to be able to look around and keep your wits about you in the deep spruce wood forest here around us. Okay, anything else? It's having a bit of trouble with its front leg, or front left shoulder. All right, front left. And are the same positions and actions causing pain? Okay, I thought so. That's typical for issues to spread into other areas. Okay, so we will have a brief physical exam. I'll make a few notes here, and then we will go through our full body chiropractic adjustment focused on that head and neck area and that front left shoulder. All right, does that sound good? Perfect, thank you so much. I will just do a few brief examinations and looks around to ensure that we are in top-notch health. So just bear with me a brief moment. I will actually leave this to the side. That way I can take some notes and make comments about the overall health that we observed during the inspection. So one thing that I have that's a little bit of a trick to help endear myself to the wolves that I treat and make them feel a little bit more at ease and allow me to complete the adjustment is a fresh set of bones. As you can see, these bones are freshly procured from the forest, and these sounds, as you can hear, are delicately enticing to a wolf. And I'm sure, since you do have a tamed wolf here, you are well aware that they are the key to a wolf's heart. So what I will be doing is creating a few sounds around the ears of your wolf that will entice it to behave just a bit. And if you are a good wolf, I will allow you both treats at the end of the treatment. How's that sound? Just relax. Sometimes just the sounds of the bones themselves is just enough to gain the wolf's trust. So, just be patient. I will just make a few sounds around its ears to set its mind at ease and get it focused on the bones and not my hands. Never a bad idea to be extra cautious around a wolf, even a tamed wolf, because a tamed wolf does not mean that it is your tamed wolf. So it's good to respect it and always proceed with caution. All right, so I'm going to place one bone right there, just as a bit of a smell and visual treat, and if we are well behaved, the second one will be its treat at the end. So I'm just going to look around the wolf just ever so slightly. I'm going to place my hand on the side. There we are. Just like that. Excellent. As you can see, the promise of a reward is all it takes sometimes to gain the trust. And I think just when it knows that you are here to help it and not do it harm, usually that can be all it needs. Okay, so the coat looks very lush and soft. There's a nice shine there. These markings here are usually an indicator, if they are bright and well defined, of a healthy wolf. So I'm going to make a note that we do have healthy coat. The ears are nice and symmetrical, meaning usually if there's dehydration or anything like that, the ears can start to droop ever so slightly. So looks like properly hydrated. Okay, eyes look bright, alert. Okay, perfect. And seems to be docile, which is common and very preferable for a tamed wolf. Okay, well, I think that the inspection looks good and promising. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of palpate that neck area, putting my thumbs gently on the base of the neck and using my fingers to slightly and gently rest or lift the head. All right, so prepare yourself. 3, 2, 1, and nice and easy, just kind of massaging that muscle after the adjustment. These first adjustments are going to be just a bit delicate. 3, 2, 1, and they will slightly increase the intensity as we move through the appointment. Once more. 3, 2, 1, and slightly returning to baseline. There we are. Okay. As you can see, that mobility is already starting to loosen up. So imagine what a full treatment is going to do for your wolf. So next I'm going to take my hand here, place it on the base of the neck, support the body, and we're going to be pushing it towards that hand. 3, 2, 1, and return to baseline and massage those muscles ever so gently. 3, 2, 1, and massaging those muscles. Nice and easy. Alright, and 3, 2, 1. Perfect. I can tell already that that's starting to loosen up quite a bit. Let's go the opposite side on this hand now. So 3, 2, 1, and there we are. That was very beneficial. 3, 2, 1, and gently massage, making sure to always be deliberate with my hand placements. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. Massage that area out. So let's go ahead and retest. Oh, look how much more movement we have there. Side to side, still a bit stiff, but that one might take some time. We're feeling better in that direction there. Okay, so now we're going to do just a bit more of a heavy-handed adjustment. So full hand support under the chin. We're just going to get a bit of movement there, just a bit of rotation. Supportive hand here. This is what we will be working against. So I'm going to be pressing down on the shoulder blades and up on the chin at the same time. All right, Wolf, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and these can be just ever so slightly more intense, but we will always massage that area out. Once again, 3, 2, 1, and nice and easy. You're doing so well. Just think of how that bone is going to reward you after such a massage. All right, and once more. 3, 2, 1, and right there. That one I could tell was going to be quite a big one. Okay, let's massage. You can see here as those ears move, those muscles are really starting to be worked, starting to really be positively affected by the adjustment. So that is a great sign. Let's just massage really deep into that muscle. That's going to make it feel much better. I can assure you there. And perfect. All right, starting to gain a lot more motion there and mobility. Excellent. So the next thing that we are going to do, I'm just going to ever so slightly rotate your wolf onto its side. All right. Nice and easy, just rotating just ever so slightly. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I'm sorry. I could tell that it's definitely in some discomfort there. Okay. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I can feel right there in that scapula, which is usually protected by this strong and kind of extra fluffy coat here around the shoulders, but it's definitely had some sort of injury or irritation. I'm so sorry. So I know that it seems like adjusting an injured leg is going to be something that increases discomfort, but I can assure you that with that buildup of inflammation in this area here, it's absolutely a necessity to alleviate some of that joint inflammation, and this will do just the trick. Okay, so we're going to start off very gently, just a bit of rotation, just to stretch those muscles, get those ligaments moving again, which is half the battle with an injury to an extremity. Okay, so we're going to rotate and just softly pull. 3, 2, 1, and just like that, nothing to worry about. Perfect. All right, 3, 2, 1, and feel a lot of that inflammation melting away as we speak. Let's get another adjustment there. 3, 2, 1, and now we're really starting to move. Notice that just with a bit of palpation, that leg is freely moving now compared to how it was when I had to physically manipulate the movement. So that's a great sign. So with the running motion, usually like so, what we want to make sure that we do is we hyperextend towards the natural motion and get that pop. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and forth a few times. 1, 2, 3, and just a bit of palpation of that shoulder joint. There we are. That's better. 3, 2, 1, and just opening up that joint, hyperextending it in a good way. Just allows a lot of blood flow to get to that joint. Look how much mobility we have. That is feeling better. How are we doing, Wolf? I can feel it starting to relax and ease that tension as we speak. Once more. 3, 2, 1, and there we are. Oh, that's much better. Look at that. So much more mobility in that ball and socket joint. That is great. I know your wolf is going to be howling for joy at the full moon tonight. Okay, let's treat that scapula. Yeah, so that inflammation is starting to drift out away from the extremity, and it's making its way up into the upper scapula. So one thing that you'll notice is as I push, the neck starts to pull back and the leg starts to lift. So what's happening there is as that scapula has inflammation increase, it's pulling all of those muscles, which then pulls the leg and head in. So what we're going to do is we're going to press past the point of inflammation and break up some of that calcification and things like that in the joint. All right, so 3, 2, 1, and there we are. You can see those muscles lift those extremities and that neck. So we're just going to smooth it back out ever so gently. All right, 3, 2, 1, and a nice adjustment, but smoothing it out and making it feel right back at home. And 3, 2, 1, and easy does it, and smoothing it. Okay, so let's push. So notice now how that leg is not lifting nearly as much, and that neck is really staying in that neutral position, which is what we want. As to before, we were pressing down on that scapula and it was lifting that neck and leg. So that is a good sign for us. Let's go ahead and just rotate ever so gently and get a few. Your young wolf here is definitely at a healthy weight. It's not all too light, but it's to be expected. So now I'm just going to press downward on the spine here, a supportive hand here on the bottom side of that scapula. Now just a few adjustments on the spine. These are just overall treatment and not as pinpointed to those areas of concern, but we're just going to work that inflammation out. 3, 2, 1, and just working our way down the spine, down the spinal vertebrae. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Massage as we go. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Massage as we go. And 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Massage as we go. Just a bit of dermal massage should help really relax that area. So we're just going to scratch and massage the outer layer of the skin, and that will drive blood flow and fill those capillaries, which will promote healing to the area. So that is what we will end with. We will get a nice massage of the spine and then work our way ever so gently up into those shoulders, just to maximize the effect of the treatment and increase alleviation of symptoms. So now up into the shoulders. That's going to feel really good. Sometimes just scratching on the skin can be such a relief, such a relaxing moment, even for human beings and other creatures. We all enjoy a nice massage or light scratching on the skin, especially if it's done by a caring hand, and just up into the upper shoulder blade as well. Just scratching that area, helping promote healing. Alright, now I'm just going to gently lift. Alright, and to the other side now. Alright, and there we go. You're doing so well. You've definitely earned those extra treats, and even more. Alright, you should be very proud. Your wolf is exceeding expectations in behavior. It's very well trained. Just a bit more scratching should do the trick. And excellent. Let's go ahead and pick your wolf back up and get it back to its seated position. Thank you so much for cooperating so well, Wolf. There you are. And here is your second bone. Please do enjoy. You did such a good job. Well, I think that your wolf should be feeling much better. I'm going to go ahead and make a few notes on the adjustment that we completed. So we did a distinct spot treatment on the head and neck, followed by the front left leg, and generalized treatment on the spinal cord. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my notes that we should schedule a follow-up appointment next month just to make sure that symptoms haven't returned or regressed or anything like that. Does that sound alright? Okay, would Wednesday work? Wednesday would be perfect. Okay. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and treating your wolf. I look forward to seeing a healthy future for your wolf here. So thank you so much for allowing me a moment to do my best to help your wonderful pet here. Wolf, thank you so much for giving me the time and patience needed for the adjustment to take place. I'll leave you to the rest of your wonderful evening, and please take care. Goodbye.